Hello and welcome to today's Hindu newspaper analysis of the Delhi edition from the editorial section. Okay, today are most important articles regarding explanation point of view. Okay, today we will discuss test and context as well. Okay, let's get started from this topic. No ovation for India's stand on the Ukraine war. Refusing to take a firm line on the invention while continuing to see itself as the world teacher is not credible. Okay, Russia's invention of Ukraine has placed considerable moral responsibility on India. Okay, both as one of the world's largest countries and its most populous democracy in the world. However, at the United Nations, India has refused to condemn the violation of the rights of the Ukrainians. बात समझ के भारत ने मना किया, आलोचना की, मना करने से. Okay, it has instead put out a homily speaks dialogue. It has moved with alacrity to save its citizens without expressing compassion for the people of Ukraine who face an onslaught from a much larger military power than them. It would be natural for observers to equate the actions of the state in a democracy with the will of the people. So, as we are a democracy, the Indian government abstention in the UN Security Council vote on Ukraine is said to rebound on Indians in their interaction with the rest of the world in future, unfavorably. No commitment to principle. Arguments justifying India's stance in the UN have emanated from the arrest while grandees of India's diplomatic corps and current members of the national security community. The first of these is that in international affairs, a country must be guided by its national interest and not some abstract principles. What these principles could be seen in left unspecified. Shankar, thoda sa yaar. Okay, what these principles could be left unspecified, but what India's interests are have been stated with the clarity. Okay. Of the latter, it is pointed out that due to the very high dependence of India on the Soviet Union for defense equipment and likely need of support on the Pakistan issue in the Security Council, India must not offend Russia by condemning the invention. The result is that India makes a statement that convince no one, only drawing attention to its lack of commitment to the principal international affairs. Actually, interests and principles are not that apart. If a people's principles are their most deeply held beliefs about how the world must be ordered, then their interests lie in ensuring that their principle prevails in international relations. Thus, if India does not want to see itself to be in the victim of territorial aggression in the future, it must communicate strongly, on the world stage that it condemned the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The difference now, those in charge of India's foreign policy must reflect on its choice to be on the same page as China, a habitual violator of the norm of the peaceful coexistence on an issue of unprovoked aggression against a sovereign state at a time when India's abstention on the Russian invasion of Ukraine is being likened to its abstention in the UN on the Soviet invasion of Hungary in 1956. It would do not recognize the difference. In the 1950s, the West was clearly unsympathetic to India, playing its card openly on the Kashmir issue at the UN as early as 1947. On the other hand, the Soviet Union, precursor to the present-day Russia state, had rescued India several times by exercising its veto in the UN Security Council. Now, close to 25 years later, the situation has changed. Public public opinion in the West does not favor, okay, unconditional support to Pakistan, support of Pakistan vis-a-vis India, while Russia encourages Pakistan. Okay. Moreover, we know why now that some limited support at the UN matters little, as taking the Kashmir issue to the UN Security Council has not got Pakistan to withdraw from the territory it occupied. As India does not intend to expand its territory, it need not, okay, rely on any particular country that is a permanent member of the Security Council to support its future plan. The defense supply argument now on the matter of reliance on the Russians for defense equipment, it is, okay, indeed correct that India relies on the Russian for such equipment and their spare parts. At the same time, there is a global market for arms. It is not evident that anything, okay, withheld by the Russian cannot be sourced from that market. We have in the past bought guns from Sweden, ships from UK, aircraft from France. It is the, okay, unplatable truth that there is no considerable spare capacity in the production of weapons in this world. And ready money is sure to get you to the, okay, goods you seek. For India to base its public stance on the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the assured supply of armament, is to really drag ourselves down to the bottom of the pit in terms of ethics as an East-West conflict. A second response from India's security establishment has taken the form of a rationalization of the decision to abstain on grounds that the Russian invasion and the West reaction that has not included war so far is a conflict between the East and the West, and India should stay out of it. While the argument about our need for defense equipment has at least a Cautilian winner, this position is contemptible. Okay, the final word. What is final word from here? India is a democracy, you know already. India is the largest democracy in the world. Even if a somewhat diminished one of late, moreover, it has not officially discarded Panchsheel as yet. Okay, it cannot look away from the violation of widely accepted norms contained in the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, for fear of losing access to its supply of armaments, or of reciprocal support in the even on matters of concern to it. Nor does it have the option of playing the ostrich as suggested by some for that, fool nobody else. Standing up for what you believe in brings with it the possibility of encountering hardship. But then sticking up its principle is not just in India as an national interest. It is also it's our reward. समझ गए? वो इसका एक अपना खुद का उपहार है. Second article, the mandates voter message political takeaways. Okay, voters speak is not most important political issue है. ठीक. Unguided missile, Pakistan demand for a joint probe in unwarranted, but India must get to the truth. Okay. Murderous pride, sentencing of convicts in a caste murder case in Tamil Nadu. Okay, is a rare blow for substantive justice. In Uttarakhand, a mixed response on governance. The BJP Dhami gamble paid. A vote for development all the way. ठाकुर ब्राह्मण कंबाइन फ्यूचर कंसोलिडेटेड बिहाइंड बीजेपी. ठाकुर ब्राह्मण की वजह से बीजेपी मजबूत हुई. प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी पॉपुलरिटी गैल्वेनाइज्ड बीजेपी इन उत्तराखंड. ओके, वेलफेयर स्कीम्स एंड देयर इम्पैक्ट कैश मैटर्ड मोर देन राशन. यूक्रेन क्राइसिस डिले AK-203 retrials. वर्ड पोर्शन का ये Iran climbs missile barrages near US consultant in Iraq. China to face consequences if it helps Russia evade sanctions. Diversify your investment abroad. कोई जरूरत नहीं बाहर पैसा लगाने की. टेक्स्ट एंड कॉन्टेक्स्ट आज का देख लेते हैं, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द ISI आफ्टर, द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द ISI आफ्टर सैंक्शंस, व्हाट इज इट डीपली में देखेंगे जरा. विद द US stiff curves on Russia affect their collaboration on the International Space Station. Okay, what is the story so far? After Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24, the US imposed sanctions on Russia, including a ban on transfer of technology, and on Russian banks. Following this, on March 3, the Russian Space Agency, Roscosmos, tweeted the following: the state corporation will not cooperate with Germany on joint experiments in the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Roscosmos will conduct them independently. The Russian space program against the backdrop of the sanctions will be adjusted. The priority will be creation of satellites in the interest of the defense. Roscosmos will not service the remaining 24 R-180 engines in the United States and stop supplying the R-181. What is gist of this article? Russia's part in the collaboration of the ISI is the module responsible for making course corrections to the orbit of the space station. They also fray astronauts to and from the ISIS. If Russia backs out of the mission, SpaceX Dragon module and Boeing Starliner are the other two options which can dock with the ISIS. Even though the US imposed sanctions on Russia, including a ban on transfer of technology, the scheduled missions for a transfer of crew on the ISI between the two countries seem to be unaffected. Why does the orbit of the ISI need to be correct? What is the Russia's role in maintaining the ISI? Maneuvering the ISI experience in a year, 7 to 8 tons of fuel may be need to be spent with each maneuver costing nearly a ton of fuel. According to a Reuters report, is a NGO. This was followed by a statement from the head of the Russian Space Agency. Roscosmos is a Russian space agency. Dmitry Rogozin on Telegram, where he demanded the lift of the sanctions, some of which predate Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He said that the sanctions could disrupt the functioning of the Russian spacecraft that served the International Space Station. This could lead to the Russian segment of the ISIS, which helps in correcting the orbit of the ISIS being affected. He said that this meant the ISIS could fall into the sea or on the land. He further said that the Russian segment ensures that the space station orbit is corrected to keep it away from space debris. Roughly 11 times a year, he pointed out publishing a map that the ISIS would likely crash down on some country, but most probable on not Russia itself. बहुत important नहीं. The genetic variants causing severe COVID-19. What is the genome? ICC research project will build the identification of new genes, led the development of the new treatment of the diseases. So the diseases, what is the story so far? Scientists in the United Kingdom as part of research project, genetics of mortality in critical care have identified 16 new genetic variants that make a person more susceptible to a severe COVID-19 infection. What is the genomic study? It is standing citizens reluctant to pay taxes. What is gist of this article? In this research project, a team of 4 researchers studied well over 2000 households in Dalal country. the last country USA. Okay, to gauge how their willingness to pay properly taxes changes with the new information on how their tax money is spent by the government. There were significant misperceptions among households about how the taxes that they paid were being spent by the government. The authors therefore note that one way to encourage people to pay taxes would be no make such information more accessible to citizens. The study's conclusions may hold lessons for countries like India, where there is a significant share of tax evasion due to the fact that citizens do not feel that they receive sufficient benefits from the government for the taxes that they pay. Okay, so this concludes for today's Hindu newspaper analysis. So thanks for watching.